Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Hopefully this is going to be a nice tasty treat on this cold night. This is a beer sent to me by Dave. This is Full Pint Brewing Rye Rebellion. Imperial Stout aged in rye whiskey barrels. Very nice sounding there, isn't it? Oh yes. Says here, Rye Rebellion, Western Pennsylvania has a rebellious past regarding whiskey, especially rye whiskey. In honor of the brave men who stood up to the tax collector, we have created Rye Rebellion, an imperial stout brewed with 4 different types of rye and aged in rye whiskey barrels. So it ought to be big on the rye. The malts are Pilsner malt, crystal, aromatic roasted rye, crystal rye, flaked rye, chocolate rye, and the hops are Columbus and Tetanang. IBUs are 55, and the alcohol is 11%. ABV is 11% on this one. Very nice, very nice. This is a big beer. This is a sipper. Dave, thanks for sending this one. Don't think I've had anything from this brewery before. Full Pint Brewing. Very nice cap, very colorful. Got a beer glass that's Full Pint on it, brewing company. That'll end up on the fridge downstairs. So let's see, we can get some more information here. The commercial description is exactly the same thing that's written on the back of the bottle here that I just read you. They're out of North Versailles, Pennsylvania. The food pairings for this beer: cheeses of buttery brie, Gouda, Havarti, Swiss, and since it is a stout, it goes well with your chocolate dishes. The meat for this is beef, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat. Glassware is pint becker, the non-inca tumbler, the stein, the mug, the sniffer, the oversized wine glass. There's a variety. You can about pour it into anything you want to pour it in. This type of glass enhances the aromas just a little bit because of the tulip lip on the outside of the glass. But if you don't have one, you have a pint glass, use it. That's fine. The beer can be cellared, being an 11% beer. It probably keep for years and years and years. So I don't think there's any chance of it going bad. And I don't think there's a date on this bottle anywhere. I think I looked when I took it out of the beer mail package when Dave sent it to me, and I don't see it on here. It would be nice for them to at least put a year on the label so we'll know when it was put in the bottle. So the day and the month is basically irrelevant on a beer this big. It's not that critical. But I mean, day and the month is not that critical. The year I like to know anyway, whether it's a 2012 version, 2013 version, 2014 version. That way, when you put it in the fridge and you keep it for a couple of years, you know how long the beer's been in the bottle. So if you don't put it on there, you got to put a piece of tape on the back of it and write when you got it. But still, that doesn't mean that the beer hasn't sat somewhere. So it's really, it just tells you how long you've had the beer and not how long the beer's been in the bottle. So with that being said, I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. So without further ado, Dave, thanks again for sending these beers to me. Let's get the cap off of this one. Let's see what this one. Ooh, I can smell it already. Into the glass, 11%. Let's go down the center and see what we get. Not much of a head. Straight down the center. Just barely covering the top of the beer, guys. Over into the light, there is none. It is pitch black. Black as night. Looks very good. Looks pretty much like a stout should or does look. So Let's get a nose on it. Big rye on the nose. With that many different rye malts, it's definitely got the rye. And as far as whiskey, I mean, I don't know if it should have a bourbon characteristic to it or a rye whiskey without the bourbon. I'm not getting a big bourbon nose. Giving a little bit of the whiskey, but not a lot of bourbon. Chocolate malts, I mean, there's like espresso coffee in there. It's got a sweet nose to it, just a hint of the alcohol, not much. It smells kind of sweet to me. Maybe a little toffee or some dark fruit in there too. Not the rye. The rye and the whiskey is the biggest nose that I get on it. And just a hint of coffee behind that. So let's give it a taste and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Dave. Thank you, sir. That's very, very sweet. Very much on the sweet side. I don't think it has... Yeah, I told you what the IBUs was, did I not? Yes, 55. I would have guessed less than that. It's not very bitter at all. Very pleasant though. Very tasty. A little bit on the... It's a little bit on the sweeter side for my taste, but it's very nice. Very easy drinking for an 11% beer. Very well made beer. I'm not getting the alcohol hardly at all. This drink's like a 7 or 8%er. You can get in trouble with this one real easy. Wow. It's kind of tasty. I'm kind of liking this. Wow, Dave. You might want to put in the comments what this bottle costs or what a 6-pack average. I don't know, it may be packed in a 4-pack. A lot of these big beers like this are packed in 4-packs instead of 6-pack of what this beer costs. Very nice. Guys, it's 40 degrees. Let's let it warm up and see where it ends up. Let the other half taste it. Come back and do the final chug and comments. Stick around. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left. I've been sipping on it and having a nice cigar to go with this. This has got a very nice taste. Very well made. The sweetness is just a tad heavy to me. I like it just a tad more bitter than this. And they said it's 55 IBUs, but it doesn't taste like there's that much bitterness to it. It's more like 35 or 40 to me. But now that it's warmed up, like I said, the rye and the whiskey is coming out. Not getting in really any bourbon. Chocolate, coffee, maybe just a little bit of dark fruit, toffee. It's very pleasant. It's very easy drinking for 11%. Like I said, you can get in trouble with a bunch of these. Very easy drinking for that big of a beer. Final chug. Wow. It's delicious. It really is. I just wish they would put a year on the bottle, on the label there, so we know when it was put in the bottle. It's awesome. And from what I hear, this is a fairly obscure brewery out of Pennsylvania. I don't think they have a big, huge distribution area from what I hear. So I've not seen this before or had anything from these guys before. So it's very pleasant, very nice. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a delicious beer for a nice chilly evening and a nice beer to pair with a nice cigar. So I enjoyed it. It was tasty, guys. I'm gonna give this an 8, which is an A minus. I think it's an A beer. It's very well made. So very tasty. Not a lot of bourbon in it, but there is a lot of rye and whiskey. The whiskey is not overpowering. The rye is the biggest thing with the chocolate and the coffee in this beer. So very tasty. I enjoyed it, guys. So let's see what the other guys think. We'll go over to Beer Advocate first, and they say 89, which is in a very good range. I'm about 2 notches up at about a 91 on this beer if I was putting a number on it. It is good. It's very delicious. And as far as rate beer is concerned, they say 93 overall, which is excellent numbers. That's only 2 notches up from what I'm giving it, and I would still consider that to be an A- number. And 42 in the style, so I don't know why the numbers are down on the style unless somebody's expecting a big bourbon influence here, and it does not have that. If you're expecting a big bourbon taste in this beer, it is not there. So, but they don't have bourbon in big letters on the front of the bottle. They just say it's a rye rebellion aged in rye whiskey barrels. It does not have bourbon on it anywhere. So as long as they're not advertising it on the label as a bourbon beer, I'm not going to knock them down for that. So they're saying it's a rye aged in whiskey barrels, and it's pretty close to that. I mean, the whiskey is not overpowering or overbearing in this beer. It's very pleasant. If you're not a whiskey drinker, I doubt if you'd even notice it. So heavy on the rye, chocolate, and coffee is what I'm getting out of this one. So if you've had this one, let me know. Give me some comments back on this one. As always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and let's go see what's in the fridge tomorrow. See you then.